Alright guys, so I created this video just to help you with algebra. So I have a few examples as well, but this is a very short video. So in algebra, you want to try to isolate your variable. In this case, it's x. But whatever variable the problem is asking for you to solve for, that's going to be your x, and that's what you want to solve for. The other rule in algebra that you really need to pay attention to is that in order to isolate your x, you need to complete opposite operations. For example, if x is added by something, you're going to have to subtract it. So the opposite of an addition is a subtraction, and the opposite of a multiplication is a division. And I want you to take a notice of the symbols that are used here, because we'll be doing a lot of online work, and this is how I'll show addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. The other thing for you to know is not sometimes, a lot of times we write 5x, but it means 5 times x. So that's something for you to keep in mind. So the first example, 2x equals 8. So a lot of you probably already know the answer. However, I am not sure that you know the process of which you got to that number. So let's go through the process. So let me go back for a second. So you have 2x equals 8. You want to isolate your x. So you have to pay attention to what's being done to x. And in this case, 2 is multiplying x. And we talked about this, but the opposite of a multiplication is a division. So therefore, we are going to have to divide x by 2. Okay, so since x is being multiplied by 2, it needs to be divided by 2. So if we do that, we divide both sides by 2, and whatever you do to one side, you have to do it on the other side as well. So we divided both sides by 2, and then you find that the common here is 2 and 2, and you can just cancel them out. So you ended up with x equals 8 divided by 2, which equals 4. On the second example, we have 3 over x, so 3 divided by x equals 6. Again, you have to pay attention what's being done to x. In this case, 3 is being divided by x, and we know the opposite of a division is a multiplication, so it needs to be multiplied by x. So if we do that, we take x and multiply both sides. And then because x over x, we can cancel them out. Okay. And it's going to look like this. It's going to look like 3 equals 6x. Okay, so if we clean it up. And it might be helpful for you to grab just a paper and a pencil and write that down and make sure that you're getting that number or that expression. Okay, so we are not done yet. So now we need to do the same thing that we did in a previous example. We need to look at x, and it doesn't matter if it's x on this side or that side, as long as x is isolated and alone. So what you're going to do is look at what is being done to x, which is being multiplied by 6. So you're going to divide both sides by 6. So here I divided both sides by 6, and then I canceled out my 6. And I ended up with x equals 3 over 6, which is the same thing as 1/2, or is the same thing as 0.5. Okay, so this is the last problem. So we have 12 minus x equals 4. So the first thing that we need to think of is we're not going to use any multiplication or division, because it's a subtraction addition kind of problem. So in order to isolate x, you must get rid of the 12. That's the first thing that you need to get rid of. So 12 is being added here, so you need to subtract on both sides. So again, it's the same idea. So minus 12 and minus 12. So let me go back here. So we know that minus 12 plus 12 equals 0. And we know that 4 minus 12 equals minus 8. Okay, so this is exactly what we get. We are almost done. You have to keep in mind that you want to isolate x, not minus x. And we know that in order to get rid of a minus sign, all we need to do is multiply both sides by negative 1 to get your answer. Multiplying any number by 1, it does not change the number. Multiplying anything by negative 1, we can get rid of the negative sign. So I'm doing that here. And if I multiply both sides by negative 1, I ended up with positive x, so the answer is x minus 8. Okay. So this is the end of the video. I hope it was helpful. If you're still having a problem with algebra, you can just Google. There's tons of videos on YouTube to help you with algebra.